if you want my honest God opinion, I still think this episode's going to be extremely controversial. But at the same time, that's the internet for you, so what are you going to do, really? Okay, so before anybody comes after me, let me say this right now. I agree with the results for this episode, but I can see where some people are coming from when they say, no, they got this wrong, no, they didn't get this one right, or whatever. Okay, so let's take this one step at a time, because I'm not gonna lie to you guys. While I did agree with the results for this episode, there are a couple problems here and there with the episode. Okay, so let me start out this by saying I love the concept of these two fighting. Persona is one of my all-time favorite games of all time, and I'm a pretty big JoJo fan. Hell, I can even say this for sure. I love the premise where these two start to fight. It's basically played out as Giorno has his own palace and Joker's out to try and steal his treasure. Or heart, whatever you want to call it. Although it does make me question, what would the calling card look like? As for the animation in the episode, it's fine for what it's trying to do. I really do like it. The models and backgrounds look extremely good for what they're trying to do. Well, I didn't even realize this, but this was a reference to Part 1 Dio. I didn't even realize it until I saw the comments section. Though there are some weird moments in the episode that, I'm not that big on. Like, Joker swinging through the palace here. That's a little weird to me. And for the most part, I really do love the dialogue between the two. And it especially helps with the voice actors in this episode. Oh yeah, I should also bring up the voice acting with this episode. For what both these guys tried to do, they do a good job here and there. We got Kevin Rivera as Joker and Kieran Regan as Giorno. For the most part, they do good. Kevin Rivera was probably my favorite out of the two. Although there was this one weird line of dialogue that I just got a question. It's basically where Joker's sending out his second persona, and then Giorno says, impossible, a second stand? And don't get me wrong, I get where he's coming from. It's out of the norm for a lot of stand users to, have two stands. But Giorno, Mista exists. He is one of the few people who survived in Golden Wind. Also, yes, this is a hilarious picture right here. I found it on Pinterest and I just had to use it somehow. Oh and yeah, I should bring up this scene. This here, chef's kiss. Fucking beautiful. Love it. But surprisingly, that's not my favorite part of the episode. My favorite part of the episode is the music. Requiem of the Thief. It is such a great track, and Werewolf Media deserves all the praise with that. What is the best way to even describe this shit? Imagine the best parts of any Persona game, and you have Giorno's theme thrown in on there, and then you get this gem. It is a great track, and I love it. As for the death of the episode, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I really think they could have done a whole lot better with the death of the episode. Okay, so basically, here's what happens in the episode. GR comes out, he throws in a few mudas, Joker's confidants show up, and they basically convince him to awaken his final stand. He tries defending it by throwing in a few mudas into the mix, but he ends up quite literally losing his head here. Worth it. Oh yeah, and did I mention that Joker ended up getting screwed over? Seriously, all that bullshit and he didn't get a single experience? Damn, I guess Golden Experience Requiem really did revert his experience to 0. At least he got 91,000 yen out of it. So, in conclusion for the fight, there are things I liked in it, things I didn't. I do agree with the results. Though I do see some people having some decent arguments when it comes to this fight. And overall, I still did like this episode. it's just not going to be in my all-time favorites or anything. Although, I will say this, it's possibly my favorite JoJo and Persona fight. So that's something. My final grade for this episode is probably going to be a 7. And I'm definitely going to be putting it above Bardock versus Omni-Man. And with that being said, join me next time for... Oh wait, I need to get a different hat for this one. 1 second. Sorry, I don't have a Mario hat. You're going to have to deal with the Wario one. Anyways, join me next time for the big fight that everyone was waiting for. A battle between the most iconic villains in all of video game history. And even then, I do feel like that's not good enough praise for these two. Nah. These two are godfathers of all of video game villains, and I will not hear any different. So, join me next time for the fight that everyone was waiting for. The main villain of Mario and the main villain of Sonic. Jack Black versus Jim Carrey. Get ready for Bowser versus Eggman.